Alicia,
Good morning.
how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Good.
Good to see you.
Morning, Eric.
Good morning, all.
Morning, Eric and
Good
family. Good to see you all.
Thank you.
Morning, Barrett.
Good morning, peoples.
Morning, Barrett.
morning.
You guys are cold, man. The weather is getting to you.
I don't see Felix online yet.
Not yet.
I don't see Father P online yet.
You're under the blanket still. Too warm.
I don't see Leon
You have to
online.
be- you may have to use Lavelle as your star this morning. I just
Oh, yeah. Lavelle, how are you?
Morning, Eric.
you may
You
have to
all
be
right?
your star this morning.
Yeah,
You know, I'm always happy to see you.
yeah, man, I good.
Donette,
Wonderful.
be careful what you're proposing, because now we might get serenaded this morning instead of a joke.
Right. That's a
Lavelle is
joke,
like
Joe.
a fun day. Lavelle, where's your better half this morning? He's still
Oh,
under the blanket.
No. She going to fix breakfast.
Okay. Hey. Good morning again, everyone. It's 7 o'clock. Meeting now called to order. Good morning and welcome to our second meeting in Disease Prevention and Treatment Month. Our invocation will be done by Rotarian Ruben.
Rotarian President, good morning again. Good morning, everyone. May I seek your permission to give us the grace in chorus form? We used to sing this grace. I know my voice is not too good for singing, but just listen to it.
Okay, go right ahead.
Oh, oh Lord, thy giver of all good, we praise thee for our daily food. May Rotary friends and Rotary ways help us to serve thee all our days. And everybody will say amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ruben. The loyal toast by Rotarian Sherelle.
Rotary around the world. Sorry.
To the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
The Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Thank you, Sherelle.
I hope the SAG
Thank
saw
you.
that.
You're welcome.
Secretary Donette will now welcome our visiting Rotarians.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Let me, first of all, welcome everybody, but a very special welcome to our guest speaker, and I'm changing protocol this morning, Dr. Higgs, for waking up so early to speak to us. We appreciate you being here. Welcome. We hope that will make you feel very welcome and you'd want to come back or even become a member of our club. Welcome, President Alicia, visiting from St. Martin. I hope you had a great flight getting here. Welcome to the meeting, and you're always here, so I know you probably own the airline. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Interact Advisor, Daniela Smith. Ms. Smith, welcome. It's great to have you one more time at our meeting. And I think that's it for visiting. No, we have Devard Devard Thompson from Rotaract, welcome. And guest of Rotarians, I know my guest is here, Yvonne Gibson Sands, has been visiting for some time. Welcome, Yvonne. Not seeing any other, let me scan. I think that's it, Madam President. If Rotarians have guests in the meeting, you may unmute your mic and introduce your guests. But I'm not seeing anyone. So I think that's it. So good morning on this really cold morning. Hope you're enjoying the weather. Welcome and enjoy the meeting.
Thank you, Secretary Donnet. Is Father P online?
No, he's not.
No, he's not. Rotarian Lavelle, would you like to do us the honors and give us some fines? Call the fines and jokes, please. Up to it.
Yeah, yeah, I could try. Let me see. Everyone, I gotta get Father, give me $20 for all the fines what you give me. And that's a joke. Yeah. Yeah, everyone just everyone just give $5 for this weather, this nice weather, you know, save on, you save, at least you're saving on BPL, you ain't gotta cut the AC on. And let me see. All right, let me see. There was this guy at Silence Rehabilitation Center. He was pushing the wheelbarrow upside down. And so the security asked him why he pushing the wheelbarrow upside down. So he told the security, he said that that way when it upside down, no one could put nothing in it. So the security told him, well, why don't you turn the wheelbarrow or the wheel up? So he said, what? If I turn the wheelbarrow with the wheel up, everyone can see ain't nothing inside the wheelbarrow. So he pushed it upside down so so the wheelbarrow could stay empty. You know, it's the perspective of the glass full and the glass half full. All right. So let me see. That was the one what I had on my agenda for this morning. And not on my agenda, on my mind. I didn't really say it the right way, but y'all get the gist of it. And
Yeah.
Kimmy, I find you another $2 because you was trying to get me to sing, and we all know that the real sing is Father P and Toinette, and and
Acknowledge.
and whether you realize it or not, Patrick too. Patrick sang Frank Sinatra My Way, and
Really?
yeah, man, he almost put me.
Let the cat on the bag.
Yeah, man, he almost put me into retirement, you know. But thank God, I know Dr. Moxie, so I told him to cut his power off, you know. So that's how come I still survived the singing part, you know. But let's all be upstanding and just continually to do what we do as good Rotarians, and you know, and just put whatever we could put in the, what, you know, like what the politicians to say, the consolidated funds.
Yes.
You know, and let's just enjoy the rest of this weekend. Be safe in this season to celebrate.
Thank you so much, Rotarian Lavelle. And now birthdays by past President Diana.
A very pleasant good morning, one and all. I am pleased to announce Christina Rule as our birthday celebrant for this week. Happy birthday, Christina.
Happy birthday. And now we'll have the announcements. Secretary Donette, would you like to again announce what the raffle prize will be this morning before we proceed?
Okay, sure. Just before I do that, did you guys have a problem getting on into the meeting? Using the
Initially,
link I shared, because some persons are
initially,
saying that they are in the chat, in the waiting room, but they're not. I'm not seeing them online at all.
yeah, initially this is Dr. Higgs. I had an issue signing in, but I closed the meeting and re-signed in, and I was able to get into the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a problem too.
I think I noticed that the phone number has changed. And they may be still trying to use the old phone number.
No,
Yeah.
I sent the link. I sent a link in the chat. I just saw them now. It popped up.
Yeah, I know you sent it. That's how I saw it. But what I'm saying is they might still be using the old one.
Could be.
That means they would have had to go back to an old link.
No, I used the email you sent just this week.
Yeah, so that's the one. That's the correct one.
That wouldn't let me get in.
Oh, wow.
It didn't let you in. I was
just
wondering.
you guys just popped up in the chat room.
It didn't let me in either.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yesterday.
I was wondering, especially you two, where's Leon?
Yeah, I'm
I
right
said
here.
to Donnet, I wonder what happened to Felix and Father P and Leon this morning.
Right.
These are
Leon,
all
they'll find
Southern
you.
Bahamas people, right?
Oh, wow.
It didn't let me in.
It didn't let, well, a lot of people are saying that.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So we're at the
We
announcement.
apologize for that.
Okay, your sins are forgiven, go and sin no more.
Okay.
That's still a
Thank you,
that's still a
Pastor.
$5 fine, Father Pete. That's still a $5 fine for having a computer that's not compatible to Zoom.
Oh man, you ain't no sergeant at arms, man. I'm the sergeant, man. But I still have
You deputized very well this morning. So we're at the announcements for those who came in late. We're taking announcements, and I'm stealing a moment just to announce our raffle this morning. It's 4 beautiful wine glasses with the Rotary logo that you can use to entertain your Rotary friends or your dearest friends because you want to share your Rotary experience. And it's a trifecta. It comes with a bottle of wine and the wine opener and stopper. So please put your order in the chat. It's as usual, 1 for 5 and 3 for 10. Sorry, yeah, 1 for 5, 3 for 10. All right, so put your order in the chat so that you can have a chance at the raffle. Back to you, President Francis.
When Mommy did hers, each of us, when we did it here, we spent what, $50 each, right? Or $40?
Okay.
And it was for food too, fast. Yeah. Okay, so this should be able to work. But see, I try to ask Terry what they pay for the other sip and drink when she was there.
I'm not sure.
To see how much.
Is Director Karen, is she online? Secretary Donnet?
No, she's not.
She's not
Yes.
online.
Good morning,
Oh,
everybody. I'm here.
Sorry.
Morning.
Morning.
Hi. Good morning, everybody. Again, and season's greetings and all
Morning,
the great stuff. Just want to remind everybody that we have bell ringing again this weekend. So if you are able to make it out for at least a half an hour, please go and tap on the link that I sent earlier this week and find a slot and sign up. I will send the link again today. And I would love to see you out there on Saturday ringing the bell for a good cause. So please, please, please sign up for bell ringing. I also want to mention that we're doing gift wrapping this weekend for the toy drive, but I will let my co-chair, Kemi, tell you all about it. Kemi, are you still there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Good morning, everyone. So I'm very excited for this holiday season. So as Karen mentioned, we have a lot of things going on this holiday season. So our wonderful partners, Bahamas Striping, who you guys all know and love, they're having their own toy drive this season, which complements ours. So the Rotary Club of Nassau Sunrise has kindly volunteered that we would assist them in wrapping some of the gifts that they have and they'll also, in turn, make a donation towards our toy drive. So I thought that's very kind of them. So we're looking for volunteers on Saturday. We have 2 shifts going between the hours of 10:30 to 2 and 2 until 5 or until we're finished. So I definitely need all persons to respond to the email I sent. I'll send a reminder out again today. We need volunteers to assist with wrapping. And we also have the Rotaractors to assist us as well. The tents are being placed outside. We're going to be socially distant. Our club is donating all of the wrapping paper and supplies. So I just need persons to volunteer to come out and assist with that effort. Also, simultaneously, on Saturday, to promote our own toy drive, we have some of the Rotaractors as well as the Rotary Club of Old Fort. They're going to be out at Old Fort on Saturday. They're going to be out at Quality Home Center on Saturday, handing out flyers to promote our drive. So I really, really need members also to push our own toy drive. If persons want to drop off toys at Scotia, at Fidelity, if they also want to make a donation financially to the club and we can buy the gifts ourselves, however we do this. So please let me know. We already have the Rotary Club of Old Fort sending in a $500 cash donation sometime this week. So they're on board, they're putting their money where their mouth is, and I need us to step up as well. So thank you, members, and have a good morning.
And thank you. As mentioned during last week's business meeting, the Awards and Recognition Committee has completed their deliberations. There has been no change as it relates to the Rotarian of the month. We will continue to recognize on a monthly basis the Rotarian of the month. This morning, we recognize the following persons for their outstanding work. During the month of August, we recognize our membership chair, Akema, for a wonderful job. September, literacy chair, Janelle, for an outstanding job during the month of September. October, community service chair, Karen Major, and November, Melanie Cartwright. Thank you all, and I ask that you will continue doing well in your respective areas. And now we move on to a 5-minute presentation from Vocational Service Chair, Director Barrett. Barrett, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Ms. Dorneth. I'll need to share my screen, okay?
Yes, I did give you the sharing capabilities.
Okay. Okay, can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, so good morning, members and guests. The Vocational Service Committee, in partnership with our training team, would like to present to you a 5-minute talk series each meeting for the next 2 months, covering Rotary Club's roles and responsibilities. And as such, we'll cover Rotary Service project teams and all board member responsibilities, starting this morning with vocational service. As part of Rotary's guiding principles and avenues of service, vocational service calls on Rotarians to empower others by using their unique skills and expertise to address community needs and help others discover new professional opportunities. Membership in Rotary is based on members' vocation, with each club striving to create a microcosm of the broader community's business and professional world. And through vocational service, Rotarians are expected to adhere to and promote high ethical standards in all their business dealings and to lend their professional expertise and skills to help uplift our communities. So for those who did not know, here's the origin of our favorite test. So 2 tools were developed by Rotarians. Our famous 4-way test was conceived in 1932 by Herbert Taylor, and the Declaration of Rotarians in Business and Professions was adopted by the 1989 Council on Legislation as a means of more clearly defining the high ethical standards called for in the object of Rotary. So vocational service classifications. Classification and vocational service go hand in hand, just as Rotarians present their vocation in Rotary, so too do they present Rotary in their vocations. And here's a snapshot of RCNS classifications. I had prepared for you wanted to prepare for you rather, a nice, pretty chart, but unfortunately, in Club Runner, there's a need for our members to update their classifications, but here are just a few of the classifications that were listed. So you'll see with the asterisk, we have quite a few bankers, the money people, a number of entrepreneurs and attorneys. So we are well represented in those areas. But we do, however, have some other classifications in our club: manufacturing, IT, insurance. We have a few insurance individuals as well. And finally, here are some ways we can provide vocational service high ethical standards in
our grants as well.
I'm sorry, say that again. Okay, so here's some ways we promote vocational service and high ethical standards in our businesses and workplaces. We can post the 4-way tests in prominent locations, display the 4-way tests in our offices. We can do some walk and talks, have classification talks as we are this morning. That and the presentation. Is there any questions? Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you, Director Barrett. Now I'll ask Rotarian Bob to please introduce our guest speaker for this morning, Dr. Bentley Higgs.
Good morning, President and fellow Rotarians. I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Bentley Higgs. Dr. Higgs has his PhD from Florida A&M University, and he completed engineering studies at Florida State University. He focused on sustainability, solid waste management, with an emphasis on mitigation of landfill gas emissions from landfills and natural soil cover systems. He has worked through his academic career at a number of landfill sites in the United States, and he also currently serves as a visiting resident engineer at the City of Vancouver landfill in British Columbia. Currently, he's working obviously as the engineer of record at the Nassau New Providence landfill site. I happened to meet him a few weeks ago, President, while I toured the landfill. I was very impressed by what they're doing there. And I happened to wear a Rotary shirt because it was on a Thursday. And so Dr. Higgs made the mistake of asking me about Rotary because he saw my shirt, and I immediately invited him to attend the meeting and make a presentation. And I told him that we would be after him to become a member. So Dr. Higgs, it's all up to you, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Higgs, the floor is yours.
All right. Good morning.
Morning.
All. Good morning, Rotarians. Thank you very much for the invitation. This is quite a pleasure to be invited by such a, I guess, esteemed and I guess high accolade group. I just saw on the news the other day where, you know, Rotary was involved in some civil outreach where they helped disabled guy through Quaco Street to repair a ramp or install a ramp to his house, which, you know, it seemed to provide a lot of ease for him to get in and out as compared in the past. So I like to see, you know, our, you know, I guess, civil groups, take part and not totally lean on the government to, which is, at this point, completely exhausted or strapped to maintain or try to keep order as we go through this COVID-19 time. So I'm highly impressed by the community involvement, and I do encourage to keep it up. So I want to share my screen with ladies and gents, so I can start my presentation. All right. Put this in presentation mode. All right. So once again, just want to say thank you for the invitation from Mr. Robinson, and obviously the acceptance of the invitation by the group at large, the Rotarians. Today, I was granted the opportunity to talk about my experience, and I decided that I would focus and try to minimize some of the detail as much as possible. I mean, I could talk all day, but I don't have all day, only have 20 minutes. So I try to leave some time in there for questions and answers. And I'll be presenting basically on basics of landfills, and I leave it as a topic of what I call landfills 101. Just to start off and to give a background of who I am, well, I'm the middle of three boys. On the two ends, you'll see my older brother and younger, Chris and Ryan. The child of Joan and John Higgs, who is deceased, but was primarily raised from the age of 3 by Joseph and Princess Butler. How did I get here? So fast forwarding, after I would have graduated from high school locally, Tamil Christian, I continued my tertiary education at, I advanced my tertiary education at the College of the Bahamas, now known as UB. And I do appreciate the time there, and I do recommend that, majority, or if possible, all of our Bahamians, start off their, tertiary education at the institution if the courses or disciplines are provided. Yeah. So once I would have completed that, I went on to Florida A&M, where I pursued a civil and environmental engineering degree. And then I was inspired or motivated to continue my matriculation through the system, where I transferred over to Florida State to obtain my master's, which I conducted research, and that's where I started my, I guess you would say, my journey in solid waste management, and then completed with my PhD at Florida A&M. I do want to say I'm not limited to solid waste management. While I was working on my PhD, I was given the opportunity to work in the United States, Canada, and locally on various projects stemming from civil engineering, environmental engineering, geotechnical engineering, and now we have solid waste management. So once you, I guess, go into an area of civil and environmental, you cover a large area where it stems from transportation, etc., infrastructure, but yeah, just some advice. So as I said, my work experience included civil engineering, environmental engineering, geotechnical, and sustainable solid waste management. So as I move in, some early aspects of waste management. Basically in the 1800s, there was, I guess, a global crisis whereby we had to determine how we were going to properly manage waste. So this wasn't just a Bahamas issue, but it was a global issue whereby there was illegal dumping taking place. Um, you had industrialization taking place. You had increase in populations taking place. And with all that being said, you had increase of waste being generated. So you had to figure out how or what was the best means possible to manage the waste to prevent, as indicated, to prevent the spread of disease and also, pollutants that will affect the world at large, greenhouse gas emissions, the ozone depletion, groundwater contamination. So as you can see, most, I guess, for the most part, uncontrolled dump sites would somewhat look typically like this, whereby it's large open areas of waste exposed and not properly managed. So over the time, progress was made from the 1990s to the present day to develop avenues in which the generated waste can be maintained or properly managed or utilized in various aspects. So a few waste, a few options of handling waste that was derived was recycling and reuse that we hear a lot of now, especially when you look at our partners in the UK. They particularly, based on my interaction and going to conferences, they're trying to move away from landfills and go into zero waste, I guess, environment where they try to recycle, reuse a lot of the materials as best as possible so they can mitigate tapping into, limited natural resources. Then we have composting. Depending on your waste composition, you may have a lot of green waste coming into your landfills, or wood waste coming into your landfills that can be segregated, diverted in order to decrease the amount of waste going into the landfill, and it can be utilized around the communities for various projects. And then you have combustion and incineration. Now, this topic has been, discussed and still being discussed widely. As I said, our UK partners have moved away from landfills and, done some or going into aspects of recycling and some incineration. And when we talk about incineration, some folks, some companies or some individuals or entities utilize incineration to generate energy or convert waste to energy. So that is another aspect. It's probably expensive, but with the proper assessment of the waste, because it needs to be fed by a balanced type of waste in order to optimize the system and get the output and the return on your investment that you want. You need to have a proper assessment of your waste in order to determine if this option is feasible. And then lastly, I guess the most popular of all, when we think about moving from illegal dump sites and then evolving to how can we protect our environment I guess the next area of development was thinking about landfills. So I will now talk more on landfills. So there are various types of landfills. When we look at our partners, especially in the U.S. and Canada, we may not have that, option here just because the land base is scarce, and we basically, once we have a facility, basically from what we can see, everything basically goes there. So we don't have a chance to say have a MSW landfill or a C&D landfill or a hazardous waste landfill. But in these other countries, they do have landfills specifically for MSW and landfills specific for C&D. And then they have other, private entities that would deal with, accepting, green waste for composting, etc. So when we think of landfills, we do, as I said, we generate waste, and I will get into later. I just want to run through some basic, this being landfill 101. I just want to run through some basic information. Then I'll give you a overview of how the system comes together and how it typically looks. So with the input of landfills, you could visually think, if I break it down into layman's terms, your trash can, the trash can at your home. When you input that waste into your garbage can, you don't put it directly in the garbage. For the most part, you put a liner or a trash bag into that garbage bin. The reason for that is because you don't want this whatever decomposition that starts to take place once you throw that waste into the garbage to seep out into your lovely homes and smell, be exposed to the wider area. So as we can see, liquids are generated and gases. So liquids are what we call leachate. Leachate is a combination of, in a landfill sense, is a combination of infiltration of rainfall that will hit the surface and percolate through and intermingle or commingle with the waste and generate what we call leachate or garbage juice. Gases which are generated are methane, carbon dioxide, and trace amounts of nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen sulfide, and non-methane organic compounds. So the most popular gases is methane, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen sulfide. When you, other than smelling garbage, if you smell, hydrogen sulfide is more like an egg, rotten egg smell. If you notice it, methane is an odorless gas, so you won't smell methane, and carbon dioxide is odorless as well. But from a greenhouse gas emission standpoint, methane has the highest potential of harm to the environment, although the majority of the gas is carbon dioxide, but the one that has the most damage to our environment is methane. So as we talked about gas, the landfill goes through a process. When we first deposit waste into the landfill, we go through a process called aerobic decomposition and anaerobic decomposition. So aerobic decomposition is basically, in simple terms, decomposition in the presence of oxygen. And when we think of, and just to bring it on home, this is the portion of the decomposition from. It's a phase that you have to go through until you do the proper, waste management procedures. Basically, we would want, and basically once we move out of the anaerobic phase, aerobic phase, we cut down on the possibilities of landfill fires, which we have known of in the past. And then once we get into the anaerobic portion, once we get into anaerobic decomposition, this is the decomposition without the presence of oxygen. And basically, as you can see from our graph, if you follow my cursor, oxygen basically decreases, a lot of the other gases decreases, but you see methane basically picks up. So for landfill owners, they kind of thrive off of this, and they tend to want to get the waste in, they want to compact it as best as possible. So when you mitigate or reduce the number of voids within the landfill and you compact that waste with the heavy equipment that is utilized, then you basically eliminate oxygen, and then you basically expedite the process of moving into anaerobic decomposition. So yeah, anaerobic decomposition, and then you start to generate your methane. And if you have what we call a gas extraction system, then you can start, harvesting your methane to generate, which some people flare off, burn off, or capture it to generate energy, which then can produce power to feed back into the grid or power their facility. So as we move on, components used in landfills. So we talked about when once waste is deposited, and in relation, just keeping in mind our home trash can. Before we put the waste in, we put a liner or a garbage bag, and we call it a liner, into the trash can. And then we're seeing that gases and liquids are produced. But in order to properly manage and maintain these gases and liquids, components used in landfills are what we call landfill covers and liners. But basically, landfill covers provide a physical partition between waste and environment, minimize rainwater from infiltrating the waste. So as I said, leachate is a combination of rainwater infiltrating through the waste, commingling with the waste to generate leachate. So if you provide a good cover system, you could mitigate the amount of, and for our climate in the rainy season, we can mitigate the amount of rainfall or separate stormwater from the waste in order to minimize the amount of leachate generated. It also minimizes gas migration to the atmosphere. So for liners, it prevents effective and diffusive transfer of leachate. Basically, simply, when we look at the aspect of a trash can, it just provides prevention of seepage of this leachate into our, freshwater aquifer, which we have to tap into to gain, access for, for survival and drinking, and for water usage into our homes for bathing. So if we affect that, then we affect our life in such a way that whatever is in that leachate will end up in our drinking water system. And also we have soil layers that protect the underlying layers from intrusion, damage, and effect frost. Well, in certain other countries, frost, and here, heat desiccation. I won't go through detail this list, but other components, landfill barriers specifically to the cover and liners that are used. Some are man-made materials and some are natural. So geomembranes are man-made. These are very, like what we call high polyethylene plastics, or HDPE, or LDPE or low density geomembranes. And then we have geotextile filters, basically helps with the drainage of liquids or cushion between certain layers, geonets, drainage, gravel drains. Basically, in landfills, you use gravel layers in order to help with drainage flow between, layers of gas and leachate layers. And then you have compacted clay in countries that contain huge amounts of clay. They use that as an impervious layer to prevent, as I said, the seepage of leachate from into the groundwater, or to mitigate, gas emissions into the landfill. So in some aspects, you use some of the man-made plastics to prevent these emissions or pollutants from getting into the environment, or you have natural studies have shown that some of the natural resources around can also assist in these efforts if installed and placed correctly at the right specifications. And then they also have an alternative to the compacted clay layer called geosynthetic clay liners. And I would have done some extensive research on this, but I won't go into detail at this moment. So to bring everything on home, the typical landfill with a liner cover system would basically look like this, which is on the screen. You would basically lay out a footprint where you would want to start placing waste, and you at the base of the footprint, you would want to ensure that you have all of the various components, what we call, this would be the liner sensors at the bottom, to be in place with the necessary leachate collection system in order to retrieve any leachate that is accumulated or generated within the waste area. So this leachate would be captured by this piping system and sent to what we call would be sent to a leachate pond, and further treatment would be taken there instead of actually seeping into the ground. And then, as you can see also from this picture, with the
Where?
With the cover system being applied, which is showcased, if you could see my cursor, with the cover system being applied at the top, it provides separation between the stormwater, fresh or clean stormwater, versus the leachate. So as you can see on the side, you have a trench that is labeled stormwater drainage. So basically what happens is we want to keep that separation. So stormwater will come basically into this trench and sent to a stormwater retention or detention pond, which we have on our site today that helps tremendously. And we don't have to mix leachate or contaminated water with clean water. So this is just a quick overview of the system. You have typically a liner, and then once you get to the point of capacity at your landfill or your landfill cell, then you provide coverage. Intermittently, internally, you would have typically intermediate cover. So each one of these squares or rectangles would basically be a cell, what we call a cell, and each cell would be covered basically daily, in order to prevent exposure to risk of landfill fires, which contributes to air intrusion, as we talked about earlier, the aerobic decomposition process, which we want to move from as quickly as possible and get into the anaerobic stage. So this sums up, for the most part, the general aspects, basic landfill 101. Could go in more detail, but time is limited. But just to give you an overview, just quick snapshot. I mean, I have a whole lot of photos I can share based on my research, but I've done extensive research in various parts of the US, from north to south. And this picture here just captures one of my, I guess what you would call landfill tours, where I think I was on holiday in the Bahamas. And then once I left, I would have started here in Miami and I guess drove up all the way until I got back to Tallahassee. And on the way, these are the various landfills I would have encountered in order to conduct my research, where we looked at various leachates. And basically, as I said, there are different types of landfills. So you have municipal solid waste landfills. We would have collected from there. We would have what we call monofill landfills, which accept incineration ash. So if you go into incineration, basically you would have a byproduct of ash, which needs to be disposed properly. And I guess the alternative to disposing that is landfills, but now research is being conducted to take that ash and possibly use for, in cement, concrete, building, construction projects. So this is a facility in Miami. You can see the large incineration plant. Basically, they take the waste, send it through the process, and you see a lot of, it's pretty huge. And then over to where my cursor is at, this is the byproduct, the ash. And then as you have a typical landfill, small active phase, you have cover, nearby for deployment once you have that level of compaction or you reach your final grade. And then here you have a treatment area for your, I would say this is more so like a sophisticated on-site, probably wastewater treatment plant. As you can see, they're providing aeration and the necessary microorganisms to help treat that wastewater. And then this is me obtaining samples in the past of, in conducting my research from the various landfills. So ultimately, for the Bahamas, we want not to have the pleasure of seeing fires continually that would affect community health and our quality of environment. We are a tourism industry, and we can't afford to, or we're a small island, first of all. And once the wind or something happens on one side, it definitely affects the other side of the island. So we can't afford, from that aspect, to put our citizens at risk or at health risks, and also our visitors, citizens firstly, and then secondly, our visitors. So it's our mandate to assist, or as Mr. Robinson would have alluded, the company that I'm involved with, we work in partnership with the government to assist in mitigating any potential landfill fires, or, as you can see here below, any groundwater contamination as we improve the conditions at the landfill. As I said, it's work at the landfill. So looking at this picture, this is what we don't want. And today, we looking at something, a product that is well organized and basically we can Mr. Robinson can vouch that you possibly can have a picnic at the landfill now, or some recreational activity without being interfered with, either smoke or any other nuisance aspects that are attributed to poor waste management. So just a quick recap. This is some of my publications, research done in the past. Just continuing the work with current advisors, my past advisor, and also some of my own work that I'm currently working on. So hopefully I can continue to find time to keep this going, and hopefully with this research we'll put the Bahamas at large on the map, whereby we can have solid waste conferences held in the Bahamas, where we can have engage persons interested in actually getting involved in this youthful industry, to basically develop it and continue to protect our environment, enhance and in every jurisdiction. I wouldn't say there's one answer to all the solid waste problems. So I think, with continued research and partnership between the local, I guess, institutions such as BTVI and UB, I think the Bahamas can definitely benefit from that. Based on my experience, all landfills in the US and Canada, they are where they're at today because of the partnerships with their scholastic or tertiary, or their institutions, or their educational institutions or research institutions. So when a landfill has an issue, they basically call the research institution and be like, hey, can you help me solve this issue, or can you provide me a state of the art, or most landfills want to say they have the newest and best technology to better manage waste. So research is always going on. It continues, it never stops. And I don't want anybody to think that the fact that we have fires here in the landfill, we're the only ones that have fires. But even sophisticated landfills in the US, Canada, they still have fires. It's something still being researched. It's something continually being discussed from a conference level, how to mitigate it. And actually, when you introduce different components as gas collection systems, you could actually proliferate the chances of landfill fires if your system is not installed properly. So it's good to have good landfill management, or good landfill experts at your site in order to ensure that these potential risks are at a minimum, or eliminated or reduced. So I just want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for the invitation to all Rotarians at large, and I would take any questions at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Higgs. And now you have a 5-minute opportunity to ask some questions.
Good morning. Good morning,
please?
Dr. Higgs.
Morning.
Good morning.
Are we as a country moving toward, say, homes recycling? In other countries, you see the recycling bins in the kitchens where foodstuffs and garbage is separated. Are we moving in that direction at all?
Yes, I think especially with COVID, plaguing the world, not just the Bahamas. I think we definitely, and even before COVID, this would have been the mandate and the agenda that I think the country wants to, the direction the country wants to move in. There's a lot of work to be done, a lot of public education to be passed on, so this system could be one that is optimized and efficient, and at the end of the day, we could reverse that cycle of landfilling being the main option, but we reverse it and make it landfills being the last option, meaning we would reuse, recycle, or recover, reuse, and recycle as much as we can. And then when there's not an option for that last end product, then we would landfill it until we come up with another solution to deal with that whatever's being landfilled at that point. So I would say we are moving in that direction. We are trying to shift or reverse the paradigm from saying as much as landfill everything, but shift from landfilling everything to evolving to how can we recycle and reuse as much as we can before it even gets to the landfill. So yeah, we as a country at large, I think this is the time, especially with COVID, we want to reduce any environmental concerns or effects or impacts as much as possible. And I think recycling and reuse is one way that we can definitely ensure that we reduce and mitigate from the spread of disease and all of those harmful effects.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, Dr. Higgs. And now we'll invite Rotarian Simone to bring the vote of thanks, please.
Thank you, Madam President. On behalf of the Rotary Club of Nassau Sunrise, Dr. Higgs, we want to sincerely thank you for your presentation this morning, which was so comprehensive and detailed, informative, and really highlighting the importance of this aspect of our national development. And I truly hope that perhaps as Rotary, we will consider our role in advancing at least public awareness of this very important topic and issue. And so we want to just say thank you again for your time this morning and for your prolific research and study in this area. We're very proud of you as a Bahamian doing this work, and we look forward to seeing greater things from you in the future.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Rotarian Simone. And now the raffle, Secretary Donnet.
Yeah, sorry, Dr. Higgs. Can you stop sharing your screen, please? Thank you. All right, so this is what our raffle looks like this morning. Not many takers for my lovely wine glasses, 4 of them with a bottle of red wine, or you could have white if you prefer, but these are better for red wine. And the stopper and opener for your wine. This is wine season, guys. And so even if you don't need one, you could gift it to a member of your family. So this is the last call if you're interested in the raffle. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to start drawing it. I'm sorry, that's a no. I have to shuffle that, so forgive me.
Boy, I don't know if Gwen's gonna love you.
No, Gwen. What happened is that
I won.
No, they're side by side. So I have to shuffle this. No, I have to shuffle this. Oh no, I'm trying to shuffle, not. All right, I'm trying to shuffle the names. Oh man, sorry about that, guys.
When you call, when you just reach.
Boy,
Yes,
if that was me, y'all have to give me that wine
Everything
glass.
is going
I was
this morning. Okay.
no,
So
notice I win,
because
I,
they shouldn't be together.
I was gonna call my lawyer. I win.
All right, so I'm shuffling it, guys,
Congratulations,
making sure it's
Dawn.
all shuffled up. And since we have no one else interested, let me go ahead now. And this is for real now. You are going to have a winner.
Oh, really? I thought Leon was the winner.
No, it wasn't shuffled.
Okay.
And it's Kemi Jones.
Oh, wow.
That was the perfect spin. You
Congratulations,
shuffle that
Kemi.
good, Donna. You shuffle that good.
Good, good.
Congratulations,
Congratulations.
Kemi.
Thank you, Secretary Donna. And now I have one quick announcement before we say the four-way test. This evening, there is a training session put on by the Rotary Club of Illustra, and our own PDG Felix will be the guest speaker. So I'm asking especially our new Rotarians to log on and join this meeting. I'm going to send the link once more today so that you can join 6:30 this evening. Very interesting. I'm going to take an opportunity to log in myself. And it's a good way to keep abreast of what is happening in Rotary. So thank you. And now we'll have the four-way test by Rotarian Patrick.
Good morning. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
The truth.
Is it fair to all concerned?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Will it build goodwill and better friendship?
Will it build goodwill and better friendship?
And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And will it be beneficial
to
to
all
all
concerned?
concerned?
Thank you, Rotarian Patrick. The final toast by Rotarian Lavelle.
Let us all raise our glasses, a coffee mug, and whatever we have in our hands, the Rotary around the world.
Rotary around the world.
Wow.
Thank you all for your presence this morning, and everyone have a blessed and safe day.
Thank you, President. And person, don't forget to sign up for gift wrapping on Saturday, please.
All right. Better bring out those wine glasses.
Maybe I will, if that's going to tempt you.
And it's 4 of them, Kemi, so you have to invite over some people. You can't drink up from all 4 by yourself.
Let me think about that one, Donna. This is my first raffle I've won. Let me stay with this one by myself first.
Okay, have a good day, everyone.
Have a good day, guys.
Tomorrow we'll be wishing Karen Pinda a happy birthday.
Oh,
awesome.
Nice.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, bye, everyone.
Bye.